I encountered an older lady on Fraser Island a couple months ago, actually. And I remember she was part of a photography book group. They were like, coming out with, like, they were all like elderly ladies though. And I remember she came with this like big camera bag walking towards me and my friend Zach, and I had all my drone gear and stuff. And she's like, "Oh, darling, what is all this cool equipment?" And I explained, "Oh, I'm a drone pilot. I do this, that, and that." And she's like, "Oh, we're here doing some photos." And then she's like, "You're so lucky though. I wish I would have pursued what I love doing when I was in my early 20s. I had to wait till I retire."
In 1837, Horace Mann created the education system, a system at the time designed to pump out factory workers and professors. The same system that is still being used today in the 21st century. Now, Mann's system is backfiring. We are being moulded by the same industrial system that has existed for close to 200 years. That system delivers us into a digital economy that has no need of our outdated skills. This isn't our teachers' fault. This isn't the government's fault. This is due to a rapidly changing world full of technology and unforeseen circumstances. And us Gen Zs are caught in the middle. Welcome to the Driven Young Podcast, the podcast for stressed, overwhelmed young Australians, teaching you practical life skills you can implement now to set yourself up in life. And now your host, Byron Dempsey.
Welcome back to the Driven Young Podcast, and today is a phenomenal episode. This will definitely go down as one of my all-time favorite episodes. Today I'm joined by a good friend of mine, Fabio, or known online as Fabreezy. Fabio is an FPV drone pilot, which stands for First Person View. He flies drones professionally as a full-time content creator, working with brands like Redbull and GoPro. But he only got into this over a year ago. Before that, he was working in a corporate as a manager. In this episode, Fabio and I discuss life after school, what he did, including travel, and how he felt he needed to be a manager. He shares some really deep stories and we bounce off each other throughout the entire episode. I don't want to say too much, I just want to jump straight into it. I apologize if we speak a little fast, but this was such a fun episode and I know you'll get so much value out of it. As per usual, please DM me or Fabio on Instagram if you enjoy the episode. Make sure you leave a review for the podcast. It really helps me out, and all the links to everything I do are in the show notes below. Now, over to Fabio. Fabio, welcome so much to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, mate.
We've been trying to line this up for a while. Now that COVID's over in Sydney, we're back in person.
Yeah.
So FPV, you're a drone pilot.
Yep.
We can talk about how you've managed to change your entire life in a very short amount of time. You've built a big brand online. You've gained an incredible skill, doing all this cool stuff. Before we get into that sexy stuff, just love to know what you did after high school, like what was going on in decision making.
Yeah.
And then we'll just talk about, what you're currently doing now and jump into it.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Thanks for having me, Byron. That's a great question, actually, what I did after high school, because that was a time where I was really unsure what I wanted to do. Because back in high school, I was never sure if I want to do like something in finance. Do I want to do like something proper? Because I've always done creative. Like I was always a creative person from an early age. Really, I've always done videos. My dad always was like recording me and like taking these like cool videos. Was always recording me and taking these like videos of me and documenting my life. So I always thought, I might want to do something with videos after high school, but I never had the guts to do so because I always thought it's not a real thing. So it's super silly now because now I'm in the position where I'm doing it. But before that, it was very scary to do so. So I didn't end up doing it. And then after high school, I always knew I wanted to be a manager. Because if I think back now, like I didn't even know what a manager is.
Yeah.
I just thought it's a cool thing. Like it
sounds impressive.
It sounds impressive.
Yeah.
I make money as a manager because he's in charge, right? So I didn't really know.
Status.
Yeah, it's status.
Visual status.
Exactly. It's super super stupid. But so I ended up working in a retail store actually. So just selling clothes, getting some cash, and then I wanted to get to uni, but I still wanted to work first, and then I ended up actually traveling instead. So I moved to America actually after high school, like a year after, and I was working for Walt Disney World there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Not a lot of people know that actually.
This is your first year after high school. You went to America.
First year.
So it's like a gap year almost.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because after as I said, I was still a bit confused about what I want to do after school. But then I was like, okay, at least let me try. I want to work a little bit, get some experience. I don't want to study straight away because I still, I wanted to be a manager. So I wanted to work a little bit, but then ended up actually going to Walt Disney World in Orlando, where I was not Mickey Mouse. So I was just working in a German restaurant, and it was called Cultural Representative Program. and my role was pretty much representing the German culture because I'm originally from Germany. And it was the best year of my life, really.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's awesome. That's how I mean, I'm big on gap year. I've created this gap year program, so it's like that's exactly for the reason.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's like, what if you just jump straight into the uni to be a manager, and now you're a freaking manager instead of doing what you're doing now?
Oh, dude.
The whole. I always, Marvel's been big on the alternate timelines right now, and I always think like, what are the alternate timelines that you could have taken if you had done this or this and this? And it's like that terrifies me to see you could be doing a management role which you don't love, but now you're doing something that you do love.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And it's just like, oh. And so, I think trial and error, taking a gap year, traveling, everything like that. I think you did it right.
I think this is the only way to grow, really, because to be honest, I think the school system is fucked. I'll be very honest with you.
Mate, you know who you're talking to.
Yeah, I know. This is like I genuinely believe that the school system is fucked because they don't teach you the proper skills that you need. Yeah. Like they don't teach you life.
Yeah.
They teach you how to calculate the sentence of Pythagoras and do all these sort of things, which I'm sure you need eventually if you do a profession that is in the field.
It's a small percentage of kids will need that skill.
Absolutely.
But there are skills that every single person will use in their life, like money and finance, communication skills. But we don't learn those.
We don't, and that's something that when I was in high school, I was always not upset about, but Loki, I was upset about. I didn't know that this is possible, like that it should be like that. But I always knew, like, I was forced to do biology. Yeah. Okay. I was forced to do math. I was forced to do a third language, like all these kind of things, which I didn't enjoy as much. But I would have enjoyed to have a photography class or videography class, or drone class.
Dude, so we had photography class.
Yeah.
It sucked, of course.
Yeah.
It's not that good. But what I did is I did visual arts because I could do major work, and I could do a video for my major work.
Okay.
So I spent the entire year 12 just in class editing, creating a video. And and I got top marks in New South Wales.
Holy shit.
And in all my exams sucked. But for that one project, I did really, really well.
What did that count towards your?
Yeah, it did. But I got into Art Express, which is really, what I wanted. It was very validating. Like, okay, I'm actually good at something because I was sucked at exams.
Yeah.
And that was my creative outlet. And even then, my school didn't have any cameras, so I was using my Canon 550 or something, which is so old and so bad. I didn't even know how to change white balance. I had no control on anything. And I'm just like, I didn't have
to shoot auto.
And look, I didn't need any support. I just needed the space to allow me to do it. So the teacher didn't know what she was doing. She was an artist, not a videographer. That's fine. But I had time to do it, and I love that.
Man, I wish I would have been able to do that.
That is like one of the only things where I actually really enjoyed something.
Yeah, well, of course. Like, imagine you go to school, and like, imagine school would be like, you go to school and you can actually decide what do you want to learn in school. Of course, there need to be some sort of basic like stuff, like in Australia you would have like English course or whatever you call it in English. Like in Germany it was German class. Obviously the basics, you need to learn basic math. I get that, but then after like year 5, 6 or something, you should be able to completely customize your timetable. Because if it would have been to the German education system, they would have sent me to the worst possible school, which is in Germany. There's it's called gymnasium. Then there's real school, that's the middle thing, and then there's main school. And if you don't have good grades, they send you to the worst thing. No way. Which means you only go to high school till year 9.
Wow.
And then you usually become like, you learn a tradement. And then if you're very good, you go to the gymnasium, which means you go to school for 13 years. And I was meant to go to the worst one, but I had a chance to prove myself for an extra year. Not that I had to repeat anything; it was just like a middle thing, and then I went for the best thing, like the gymnasium. But
so they're deciding your path, your career, at like
after year 4.
What? So what?
When you're still a child.
11?
Yeah, exactly. 10. I was 10.
Bro, you don't know what you're doing at 10. How can they make?
Mate, I was still playing with fucking cars. You know what I mean? Like Matchbox. Like that's what I'm saying.
Beyblades.
Yeah, Beyblades. Yeah. Let it rip. Exactly. Yeah. Pokemon card. Like exactly. And that's when, and they tell you this like at such an early stage, like, no, your son is not allowed to go to the smart, to hang out with smart people, kind of.
And then how invalid do you feel? Oh, I'm one of the dumb ones.
Yeah,
they're literally,
dude,
segmenting.
Dude, I get goosebumps, bro. No, but for I haven't spoken about this actually for ages, but no, it's actually true because like now that I think about it, like even in year 4, like people or like the kids were like, oh, you're the one who's not good at math. Like, you know what I mean? But the point is, it didn't really affect me. But I'm saying like in Germany, for instance, that's how it works. You get
same here.
Separated.
Not that abrupt, but like you've got we had 6 classes for math. The first 2 were like the English second language. So, fair enough. They're doing whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Then I was in the standard average classes and pretty much all my friends were in the higher higher classes.
Yeah.
And it sucks because when you're in these classes, you get all the drop kicks.
Yeah, of course.
And you get the worst
Exactly.
teachers. And so it's like, the poorer you are, you can't break out of it. So I could never break into the higher classes because I was never learning.
100%.
And I just felt like I wasn't as smart as my friends. And then you finish high school and none of it matters.
Exactly.
And you go, oh, wait, actually, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly. That's just like, absolutely. Because I totally agree. Like, it's all about who you surround yourself with anyways, later on in life as well. Yeah. But even in the early stages, dude, like if you surround yourself, I'm not saying anyone is down, but like, sometimes people are just, they don't care,
Yeah.
And if you're like labeled as one of these kids, even though you are smart, but you're not as good at math, but you're very creative, then you kind of get like, sucked into this world that you don't want to be part of.
That's a perfect example. If you're very creative, school suppresses that creativity usually.
Absolutely.
And again, they don't have to have a creative teacher. All they have to do is give you space to be creative.
Space, time, support.
They don't have to be like experts in videography. If you just say, make a video.
Yeah.
Here, here's your time frames. Maybe make it themed around this.
Yeah.
Off you go.
Man, if I would have started like getting grades for videos in high school, I mean, I can only imagine how good I would be today. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so, it's such a big thing. And I interviewed someone who went to Finnish school. We grew up in Finland, and they have the number one education system in the world.
Yeah.
They don't have any exams until you're 18 years old.
What?
They don't have any exams.
No exams?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
They don't have any
I mean,
exams.
it's good. Yeah,
it's the number one education system in the world. You don't need exams. But people will be like, how do you know who's smarter? No one is smarter or stupider in high school. You don't know you don't know any of this stuff.
Exactly.
And you can't put them into buckets because the person who's stupid might just be creative and they're not good at math, as you mentioned. Yeah. Or sometimes they're really, really smart. They get bored. And so they just sit around on their phone.
And it's known. Exactly. Like people absolutely.
Like it just doesn't fit so many different people. And I guess that's kind of where, now you're doing something that's very creative with filming and stuff. Like, so after your gap year, what did you do then?
So during my gap year, actually, as I said, like when I was working for Walt Disney World, I got handed a GoPro, my first proper like camera kind of thing. And
what GoPro was it?
I was a GoPro Hero 3.
That was my first one as well.
White. Yeah. So because back in the days it was like white, silver, black.
Yeah.
And I had the white one.
Yeah,
so I still have it actually, I think. And so it was the first camera because my good friend Adam, he's like, hey, look, check out this camera. It's so cool. You can do this like fisheye lens and stuff. So and it was like, oh, holy shit. So I got myself one. And that's when I started recording with the GoPro. And during this, like from the second part of this gap year, I started to like document my life there, or like my stay, and posted this video to Facebook. I don't use Facebook really much anymore, but I posted this video to Facebook like my year or something like that in America, and it had like 10,000 views. Yeah, but it was like super cool for me. I was like, oh my god, so many people are involved, like interested in what I did and stuff. So I think that's where the first time I was like, okay, I want to do more stuff like that, So after my gap year, I went back to Germany, and I was like devastated. Like I was almost depressed, Like I was like, fuck, I don't like it here, man.
So this is what Luke said. You know Luke?
Of course.
So he's like, people ask, do you get culture shock when you go there? He goes,
boy.
I don't get culture shock when I go. I get shock when I come home.
Oh, 100%.
Is exactly what you're saying. Because it's like, I've had all this freedom and all this cool stuff, and now you're back at home and you're like, you're structured, and it's like you feel almost boxed in.
Dude, like the thing is when you travel, and I highly recommend anyone after high school, do not get a job, dude, or do not get stuck into studying unless you really know what you want to do. But even then I wouldn't. Even then I wouldn't.
You can always just take it
off. Because traveling is everything, and especially when you travel by yourself, because I went there by myself. I didn't know anyone.
Have you ever met anyone in their life who said, I regret traveling?
No.
Never.
No
one. Even if they have a bad time, you learn so much in the process.
Exactly, absolutely. No, never, ever. When I after that gap year, I came home and everything was the same, man. Like like everything, like no one changed. Yeah. But I felt I would change so much, not in a bad way, like in a good way. I felt so elevated. Yeah. Like inside my mind, I was so like, wow, life is so much more than just school, uni, work. Yeah. Go home, build a house, get a wife, do a kid, die. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So that's when I realized, okay, there's so much more to it. And I'm from a small city in Germany. I'm from Freiburg, which is from the Black Forest cake.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Oh, you've heard of it. Good. So very small town, 250,000 people live there. So I know everyone knows each other. And it was just like, coming from Orlando, like from America, back to this little town, I was like, nah, this is not for me. So I decided to move to Australia because someone, and I was like, move to the other side of the world. Yeah. Might as well, right? Because friends of mine that I've met across during my stay at Disney World, they told me about, hey, Australia is great. And back then I knew nothing about, dude, I didn't even know Sydney, for instance, is by the beach. Like I had no idea.
You what?
I didn't know that Sydney is by the beach.
Oh, right. Like
by the
coastal.
ocean. Like I had no idea. So
all the cities are coastal.
Exactly. Yeah,
It gets to desert.
Exactly. All I knew, there's koalas, kangaroos, and there's the operas.
Yeah.
Really. So long story short, I decided to move to Australia, pack my bags after I think 5 months being in Germany or so. But I also knew, hey, I gotta get my life together. I need to go to uni. I need to do something proper. So I told my parents, hey, look, I'm applying for uni, which would have been in the Netherlands, in Maastricht, to do a course called International Business. Because back then, everyone thought international business is cool.
Yeah.
I thought that gets me to become a manager.
Yeah.
Still, by the time this is happening, I'm 19 years old, and I'm still thinking I should become a manager of some sort. So I told my parents, hey, I'm going to move to Australia for like 6 months or 5 months. And but I apply for uni. If I get accepted, I come back. So I cut my trip short. It's like, okay, fine. So I moved to Australia. Absolutely falling in love with this country. Yeah. That's why I'm still here after 6 years. And then obviously, like, got too used to the lifestyle and everything. It's like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But then one day I get this email, which is, hey, congratulations, you got accepted to uni. And that's where I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to stay longer. And then back then I also had a girlfriend, and life was great. Everything was good. I could go to the beach whenever I wanted to. It was just a good life.
Can I just ask, because I always talk about traveling and stuff, and I always get the comments, oh, I don't have any money. It's like, did you have money or did you just work and like because I'm just like, well, just work and travel then,
bro.
Go move and get a job. It's like, stop making excuses,
bro. If you wanna come on a working holidays to Australia, for instance, you need to show that you have this minimum amount of, I think, $3,000 in your bank account. Maybe remove 2 zeros. Then it'll tell you how much I had. I think I had like 300 or like a third. Like I did pretty much, like I was not broke. I had some money, but I wasn't like, eating out every day. I stayed in a hostel, for Christ's sake, for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, you gotta make
sacrifice.
I loved it. Hostels are better.
It's the best part.
Even if I travel, if I'm super rich in the future and I travel, I still want to go to hostels.
Of course, that's where you meet the people.
Exactly.
The people who are actually genuinely interested in traveling. Yeah. Like I stayed in this hostel. I remember. Oh, that's actually great. I went in this. Okay, so I moved in my hostel in Australia, and the first thing I've been greeted by is a guy in his, I think, late 40s, early 50s from Russia. And he's like laying in bed, right? And I come into the 4-bedroom hostel room, and he comes like a vampire comes up. It's like, oh, how are you doing? And he's wearing the Google glasses. Remember when they were like,
glass.
Yeah. Like, they don't exist anymore. Like there was just a prototype, I think, but he had like these Google glasses, yeah. And I was like, oh, well, did I travel into the future? He was so nice, you know. But it just shows like this guy, like and I'm pretty sure he's quite wealthy as well. But he just wanted to travel. He likes to be like, traveling like that, because this really gives you the right experience. You know what I mean? So no, you don't need money to travel. Yeah. All you need is a backpack and, the right mindset.
Yeah.
Really.
And I like how because another thing I hear a lot of people similar to you is their parents say you have to go to uni.
Yeah.
And they're like, I have people they're like, Byron, I don't want to go. I listen to everything you say. I completely agree with you, but my parents are making me to go to uni. And I'm like, well, don't your parents want the best for you? Why would they force you into something you don't want to do? But I like how you kind of went, all right, I'm just going to go to Australia, and if they accept me, then I'll come back.
Exactly.
Because it's like you're still satisfying their needs.
Yeah.
And that's what I say. It's like, okay, apply to uni, get it, defer, tell your parents, I just want a year off. I've already landed it. I'll go back to uni. And then it gives you a year to figure out what you're doing.
Exactly. So you really need to make sure that you do you. Don't live the life of your parents. You know? Your parents are from a different generations. Yeah. Sometimes some parents sometimes are like, okay, no, like we totally understand, support you, but some parents are very like, no, you do not do this because you need to have it better, you need to have a proper job, you need to become this, then that. But it's your life, man. Yeah. It really is your life.
And the thing I'd say is, like, even though your parents might resent you for 2 or 3 years if you don't do what you want, it's better than having them resent you for a few years. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to resent them for the rest of your life. Absolutely. If you're doing something and you're in a job 20 years later because your parents made you do something, you're going to be subconsciously or consciously resenting them.
Absolutely.
You'll be like, why? Absolutely. I don't love my parents like other people do. Probably because I'm living my life. You know, they're living their life vicariously through me. How many parents are doing that? Living their life through their children.
Dude, I know so many people who that's exactly like the case with them. Like they don't even know why they have that weird relationship with their parents. You know, just like it's not that they're angry, they're like cold. You know, it's just like weird, like really fine little film over this relationship that you can't really put a name on it. Yes. A reason on it, but they know it's there. And then maybe one day they realize why. When they maybe have to tell their kids, hey, you do you. Yeah. Or they tell their kids, no, you can't. And they're like, oh wait. That's exactly what my parents did with me.
So it's just you do you, and I know that's hard because your parents want the best for you.
Of course.
They're not bad. They're not evil or
No,
anything. But as you mentioned, they're in a different generation.
Absolutely.
And they were taught this very specific thing, which often doesn't apply.
Of course.
You just got you just got accepted into uni, and you're going, man, that's like a gut wrenching feeling.
Exactly. And what I want to talk about here is like two things: the decision making, man. Okay, I think decision making is the hardest thing in the world. I think it's a skill, actually, to be honest.
Dude, you saw my video with Dale where we spoke about making decisions?
I saw a couple, but I'm not quite sure if I saw the one.
There was the one Dale Pace when I interviewed him, and he was like, as a musician, he was a perfectionist. He's like, I just had to start putting out content.
So you got addicted to it.
And he's like, I just make decisions. I go to the shops, make a decision, make a decision.
Yeah. Well, I actually saw that video, and like I'm jealous because I'd love to be being able to be addicted to it, because I still have the trouble to do so, to make decisions sometimes.
This entire generation does.
Yeah, exactly. Especially because so many options out there, so many distractions. But what I want to say is that, so when I got that opportunity, it's like, hey, you got the spot in the uni. It's a great uni too, in Maastricht. I was like, fuck, what do I do? Man, I was so anxious. I couldn't make a decision. I was like, oh my God, but my life is so great here. I want to do this. I'll earn good money. I do this, then that. I have a girlfriend here now. And and back when I had to make this decision, dude, I was in Thailand on a trip, on the best trip ever, And I remember I was sitting there with my back then girlfriend, and it was like, what do I do? And she's like, well, she couldn't take the decision for me. Long story short, I was meant to fly back to Sydney from Thailand. On the transfer flight where we had to lay over in Bangkok, I told her, babe, I gotta go back to Germany.
Really?
So my luggage was already in the plane. They had to get it back out, because I made the decision at the airport, I'm going to book my flight back to Germany, and you're going to go to Sydney. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that was that was probably the craziest decision I had in my life. Yeah. Really, because I was like last minute, I was like, I need to give this a go.
That wasn't a breakup?
That wasn't a breakup, no. Because I'm getting to that. Yeah. So we were just like, okay, it's fine. You try it out, because I'm a person that often I need to try things out. Even if I have two options, I need to say, okay, at least I tried it. Yes. So I know. Because I don't want to be in a position later on in my life where I'm regret. Where I'm like, I wonder what life would be like if I would have done this. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You'd rather waste not waste, but try something for 3 months.
Exactly.
And if you fail, okay, great, now I know.
Absolutely. And to be honest, and failing is great, because that's how you learn. That's how you grow. It's part of the journey, So that's what I'm saying. So I was like, okay, I got to give this a go. You go Sydney, I go back home. Went back home. Of course, was super unhappy at first, but tried university, in fact, for I think 2 months. I hated it, dude. Yeah. I fucking hated it. I was like, nah, I want to be in Australia. So after 2 months, I decided, man, I'm gonna move back to Australia. I'm gonna move back, and I did. But it was still clear I still want to study though. So it's not like I just stopped saying no, I'm not gonna study. I just wasn't happy there. You know what I mean? So I moved back to Australia, and then started, and I've always done the creative stuff on the side as well, of course.
Just before you go to that, do you know what's interesting? I talk about this concept a lot in Australia. We're kind of born into a 6 out of 10 life. Yep. We have an incredible life, and it's a good life. Yep. But it's not a great life. And so I think as a result, people are very, very comfortable in their life. They'll be comfortable enough in a degree or something, or a job that they don't enjoy, but not uncomfortable enough to leave. And so you're saying you hated it. My fear is there's a lot of people out there who don't hate it, but they don't like it. And as a result, they just stick with it. Yeah. And they don't take that leap.
Yeah, because they're comfortable.
They're too comfortable.
Of course, if you're nice and cozy, and you're like, why would I leave? Why would I leave?
The enemy of a great life is a good life. Exactly. And a lot of people have a very good life in this country, and they don't stretch to get a great life.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're also worried, if they leave if they leave this circle, to chase that great life, they're worried that they won't get back into that circle because they may lose that. Yeah. So I get the fear, but if you don't live in fear, that goes with anything, or if you live in fear, then do it with fear. You know what I mean?
The hero and the coward have the same fear, but the hero does it anyway.
Yes,
that's it.
Exactly.
Everyone has the same fears.
Absolutely. We all do it.
I was shit myself when I put TikTok videos out. People are like, how do you put out videos? I was scared, just like anyone else. You just did it.
It's only normal. We all have these weird voices in our heads. Oh, don't do this. What people might think. Man, you gotta stop that, dude. Yeah. What I do when I have these weird thoughts in my head, and this may sound weird, but I shake my head, dude. If I have a voice in my head, and we all have it, that says, oh, don't do this, or remember last time we did that?
The imposter monster.
Yeah, exactly. I just do this.
It's good.
Not crazy, but just like that.
Shake it out of you.
Yeah, exactly. So because that way I consciously take control of my own thoughts. You know what I mean? Because this voice that is talking to you, there is you, dude. There is not like God or anyone else there or your best friend. It's yourself, you know? And that's why when I do this, I'm consciously taking over of my thoughts.
I love that.
Because we often go through life in autopilot, I realize. You know, I bet with you right now, until I now pointed it out, you are thinking of us being in this room. We are here, you're aware of this. But before that, we were just here chatting. You know, I'm not saying that you're not here with your head, but like consciously being here aware, you know?
It's like you're not aware that your tongue is constantly being...
Exactly.
You're using the strongest muscle in your body. You're holding it up right now.
Absolutely.
It's not laying flat against your mouth.
Exactly.
Or, you know, that your skin... You can feel your clothes against your skin.
And now that you say it, I can feel it because I'm now thinking of it, you know?
Or like we're wearing rings. Now I can feel my rings on my finger.
Yeah, exactly.
Couldn't feel them before.
No, but it's so true. And I do this with a lot of things in my life, whether it's being in the creative process or like making decisions in life, you know? Consciously taking care or taking over of your thoughts. And that really helps me.
Dude, I love the shaking. I'm going to use that.
Yeah,
dude. And as soon as you catch that thought, just shake it out.
Exactly. Because, well,
the first step is switching from the subconscious to the conscious. You're now consciously aware of these thoughts, so start getting rid of them.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's one of the best ways to change your emotions is to change your self-talk.
Exactly.
We're our worst critic. We hate ourselves.
Yeah.
When you do one wrong thing, Byron, you're an idiot. I say that in my head.
Oh,
it's like, if anyone was as tough on us, if you had a friend who was as tough as, you know, yourself, you wouldn't be friends with them. You'd hate that person.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the important part with that is to have a healthy relationship with your own thoughts, you know? Because it's great to have these thoughts sometimes with like, hey, you can do better. But take them in a positive way, embrace them, you know, take them as your own feedback, you know. When I put out a video, sometimes I work on a video, and this has happened a lot of times where I have a video out there, I'm about to say, okay, it's done. But then I watch my videos over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, this voice in my head, you can do better.
Yeah.
You can do better, bro. So I'm like, okay. And like I acknowledge that, you know, I take consciously care of that thought, and then I put more work into it. And that often helps me. But it needs to be a healthy relationship, a yin and yang, dude. Yeah, it can't be like that thought taking over and then it's becoming this, it's a bad piece of work. I'm not going to post it at all because you never know.
That's what I was going to say. The worst part is then you just don't post it.
Man, that's the worst.
Dude, I did that. I don't know if you saw my story this morning, but like I created in lockdown, I was like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then I was like, so I made this video. I loved it. I put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
I made 2, but then I was just like, you know what? I can't maintain this. I want to do a YouTube channel, but I don't have the time to maintain this, so I'm not going to post it. But I just cut it up into TikToks because I see the world in TikToks now. I see everything in TikToks. And so I posted those, and they got, I think we're almost at 1 million views between 2 videos. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, this is clearly good. Why don't I just, and I was like, I'll just post a YouTube video. Might as well.
Yeah, of course.
But I had self-talk. I was like, oh, no one's going to watch it. I was like, there's no point in posting it. But then, you know, it was getting all this great feedback. And I was like, oh, why didn't I post it?
Bro.
I made this video 3 months ago.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. You never know, bro. Like, the worst thing you can do in the creative process is not posting. Yeah. Because you never know. You may inspire someone with that video, dude. You just don't know. Just because you don't feel it, someone else may feel it, dude. And this has happened a lot of time to me, dude. People reaching out after they post it.
Same with podcasts. I've done episodes where I'm like, man, I don't know if that was the best episode. And then I get messages like, that was my favorite episode, Byron. And I'm like, there you go. Exactly. And so whenever I have an episode that I don't, it's still good. I'm just like, this isn't my favorite one. Yeah. Someone will resonate with it. I'll be like, you know, that girl, I really could relate to her. Yeah. And that's where I think, you know, it's important to have, diverse characters on the podcast because you get people will relate to them. Exactly. Like the Wiggles are now very diverse, which is great because now girls are going to relate to the Wiggles, different colors. And like, I think Sex Education. Have you seen that show?
No.
They have every type of person in it, and so I think everyone can find themselves in it.
Gotcha.
And that's
why it's popular, I suppose. Yeah.
And when it comes to content creating, you know, as you mentioned, if you impact one person from a video, is that not great?
Yeah, of course. Oh, bro, that's the best.
And we get caught up in and I do as well, caught up in 10,000 views for me is a bad video. Yeah. That's 10,000 people.
I know.
That's a lot of people.
There's a thing I saw online. Whenever you think about volume, right? Like I agree. 10,000 for me is also not a lot. But here's the thing. Let's start with 100. Imagine 100 people just saw you live. Yeah. Like if I'm the video saw me live, that 100 people wouldn't even fit in this room. 10 people in this room would be already a lot. You would feel a bit like, oh wow, there's a lot of people here. Now imagine 1,000. You need a hall for that. 10,000. You need a bigger hall.
A stadium. 100,000.
You need almost a stadium. Million. You know where I'm going with this. Yeah. Don't put it into perspective. And you see this is actually 10,000 people is a lot of eyes. Yeah. That's basically 20,000 eyes on you. So
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. No, I totally completely agree.
Yeah, but no, that's awesome, man. This is such a cool story.
Yeah,
like
awesome.
I'm such a big advocate of the gap here and just trialing and failing. Just fail. Learn to love fail.
Dude,
Failure.
I failed so many times, and like I call it fail. By the end of the day, it's not failing;
No.
it's learning.
Yeah,
you know? I
that's what
love
it is.
saying instead of failing, that's learning, dude. Like when I learn or fail, I know what I can do better. It's part of the journey. A lot of people, what I learned especially is that people do not enjoy the journey, dude.
Yeah.
And if you do not enjoy the journey, you eventually become what you wanted to become. But then you look back and you're like, oh, damn, that's it.
It's the smell the roses.
Exactly.
You know that phrase?
No, but
It's learn to smell the roses.
Yeah.
Which is just basically saying, like, in a book I was reading, that's like, the young boy wants to grow older and be a teenager. The boy wants to get a job and be an adult. Then he wants to get a wife and get married. Then he wants to have kids. Then he wants to do this. By the time the old man looks back over his shoulder to see that, what was he wanting all along? And there's a scientific word for it. It's called hedonistic adaptation.
Yeah.
It's whenever as humans we achieve something and then we go, we're happy for about 5 seconds and then we go, what's next?
Yeah.
And you're never satisfied.
No, never satisfied.
Who's satisfied when they get a Lamborghini? You're satisfied for a day, maybe a week,
yeah.
and then it's just like driving another car
Yeah,
that's
of course.
overly priced. Like, you're never going to be satisfied. And so that's where, honestly, I would say one of the keys to having a happy life, is not the secret, is learning to love the process or the journey.
The journey is everything.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy your journey,
Yeah.
you're not enjoying life,
Yeah.
dude.
If you're just going, when I graduate, when I get that job, when I meet that person.
No, you should not live in the past. You should not live in the future. You should live in the present.
Yeah.
Because that's where you really, and that goes back to what I said earlier, being conscious of your thoughts, being aware of the now. Do you know how many times when I'm on a cool shoot or doing something very cool with a bunch of people, I literally, bro, stop everything. It's like, boys, girls, can we just appreciate this moment right now? Can we just be aware?
Yeah.
And everyone's like what? And then they're like, oh. And then they look around, like, we're at this edge of this cliff right now, which is so picturesque, and we look, I was like, damn, life is good, man. You know what I mean?
That's what my mate says. He's German as well. He's just like, what a life.
Ah.
You just wake up, what a life.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
him and his roommates, when they'd wake up, they'd just like yell at each other from across the room.
Oh,
what
really?
a life.
Good. That's good. Embrace it.
Yeah.
Put it out there, manifest it. Absolutely, I love that shit.
Yeah. And so that's living in the present is super important because how many people, I think people who are older often live in the past.
Yeah.
Like, the good old days sort of thing. And that's what you hear as young people.
Yeah.
We're conditioned, the good old days, enjoy your youth.
Yeah.
It only lasts. And if you're saying that to someone who, let's face it, most young people aren't happy in Australia.
So many.
Imagine telling someone who's already unhappy, these are the best years of your life.
Yeah,
and you're
like,
going,
wait,
holy
what?
shit, it just gets worse from here.
That's very powerful, dude.
It just gets worse from here.
Yeah, exactly.
What a terrible mantra.
Yeah.
And I agree with the message. Like, obviously travel, do everything you can while you're young and all that. But also, understand. I remember, and I've said this a few times on the podcast, my English teacher, she said something, she was one of those teachers that would like talk with the class quite a bit, treat you like adults.
Yeah.
And she goes, you know what, guys, life gets better as you get older. Sure, I don't go out partying, but I've got different priorities. I like having a red wine with my husband now. And, life gets better as you get older. And that was the first time I was like, really? Wow.
Okay, well, I mean, good for her. Man.
My entire life, I was just like, I felt like as I get older, you're slowly dying almost.
Yeah.
And so, I just think live in the present. Don't live in the past. And then also living in the future is probably almost worse.
Yeah, of course.
It's the when.
Dude, if you live in the past, you're stressed. You think, I should have done this, maybe better, regret. If you live in the future, you're anxious, you're worried. Should I? What happens? What if I do this? What happens then? So cut the future out, cut the past out. If you just live now, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like it's good. Like, let me continue with life. You know what I mean? So it's all part of it.
Yeah. I think the other thing I think is if you just learn to accept that life is a roller coaster and there are going to be ups and downs.
Yeah.
It's a much safer place to be in. I think people always, they get to this point like, I just got to stay here. I've got to stay being happy. It's like, look, you want to be as happy as long as you can, but there's going to be ups and downs. I remember last year when I met, when we started Clubhouse and I had all these new friends.
That's how we met.
5:30 Club. I'd empower you. I was like 6 months. I was like peak for 6 months straight. I was like, this is crazy. I know I'm going to go down at one point.
Yeah.
But I just kept
now
going.
I'm just going.
Before that, I was like, I'd be happy
Light
one
speed.
week. Yeah, I'd be happy 1 week. I'd be down the next. But I was just 6 months straight, gunning it. COVID. Bang. Working from home 100
Like
days
full
straight.
stop.
Empower you stops. Everything stops. Virtual podcast. Everything shut down.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it. That's life.
Yeah, that's life.
And now we're back
That's
up.
live.
Now I'm back. Yeah, now I'm coming back up.
Yeah,
COVID's
exactly.
gone, we're coming back up.
Absolutely. Come
And
back with a bang.
as soon as you can accept that,
Yeah.
and the journey is ups and downs.
Yeah.
And as we said, in order to go down on a roller coaster,
It's like a stock market
up.
too, dude.
Yeah.
Like economy, it goes up and down.
Yeah.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
Can't always go high. Can't always go at 100,000 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
You will have to slow down, and that's good because when you slow down, you have time to focus. Get your energy, get your chakra back, like you did. You were in lockdown. You started to think of maybe things, online services that you can do, you develop new products or start a YouTube, which I started as well during lockdown. These are all things. This is a good time to learn and get that energy back.
Yeah, or just slow down in life.
Or slow down because maybe
life's
we're going
hectic.
too fast.
Yeah.
Enjoy a little, do something else, pick something up.
Living in the present is
Absolutely.
huge. And for anyone who's listening, going, okay, I'm not happy right now. I'm not living in the present. I'm always when I finish this degree, whenever. Some practical tips, I think, is first of all, just be conscious of it. Now you're conscious of it. And here, life isn't easy. You're going to have to make an effort. This is why I've listened to so many podcasts. I'm always it's a lot of work to build yourself up and develop yourself.
Of course.
Don't think it's just going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not just going to meet people like in the movies. You got to put in the work. You got to go out there.
Absolutely. No one is doing it for you, dude.
Yeah.
As much as we sometimes think, oh, why is my life not great? Why is this not work? Why am I not becoming a better filmmaker, content creator?
Yeah.
Why is my content not going viral? Well, you probably also only post a video every month or something like that. Consistency is key. Consistency is key. Content is king. And you got to be consistent with anything in life.
Yeah. And I think let go of the perfectionist.
Absolutely.
It's hard. It's so hard.
You need to cut that out of the fucking mathematical equation. Because if you only strike, I mean, I'm to be honest, I'll be guilty. I'm trying to be a perfectionist with my videos, but it's a healthy relationship. I just know when I can do better or not. But if you and I never don't just not post or don't just do it because I think it's not perfect. I never do that.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's it. And that's a whole other conversation on content and stuff.
Yeah.
But going into, so now you're back in Australia.
Yeah.
And you've been, doing cool stuff. Did you go straight into drones?
No. So back in Australia, actually ended up, and this is a major part in my life where, so I commenced my official degree in Australia after a year being here because I knew I would need to study. I still had that mindset.
Yeah.
I need to do something proper.
Yeah.
I got my first normal drone in 2015. And my camera gear and stuff like that because I knew I want to take this more I'm really enjoying this but it was more like a side hustle,
hobby almost,
hobby slash side hustle, exactly. More like a hobby, of course, definitely. But people started to tell me, hey, you should do this, you should do that. It's like nah, I gotta do something proper. So I ended up doing a business degree.
Oh no, don't tell me that.
I know, dude. And I'm an international student, so it cost me I think $70,000. I know. Okay,
it pains me.
I just gotta go back because if I think what kind of drones I could get for $70,000, yeah, I know. So let's not go there, please, because it's a tough. No, but you get it. I paid $70,000 to get educated in business
and 3 years of your life,
and 3 years of my life, which there's no monetary value on that.
Yeah, I mean, what's that?
No ticket.
$1 million.
Yeah, $1 million, whatever. So you get what I'm saying here. I did something, and the worst part is I did not enjoy it, dude.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, I was very good at it. I graduated on the dean's list. I got a scholarship. My GPA average was 6.2, I think. So you get it. I was a very smart boy in uni. I did very well. I also think part of this, the reason for this is because I paid a lot of money for that. So when I went to uni,
the commitment. I
committed, dude. When it was group work, I scanned the room, like in the Squid Game. I was like,
who I want to work with,
who was good, and if I saw someone who doesn't care but just wants a good grade, I was like, and then So you got a picture. So I was literally very committed, but I didn't enjoy it. That's my point. I did this on the side, not FPV yet, but normal content creation. But again, I wasn't consistent with it, so it was just a thing that I was going. But people always say, hey, this is amazing, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So after 3 years, finished my degree, and I was like, wow, I did not enjoy anything.
Wow.
I hated it. But I got a position as a project manager during my studies because they also paid for part of my uni as part of a scholarship. So I was now in the workforce, in the corporate world, wearing a suit, thinking I'm king shit.
Status.
A status. I was like, yes, I made it, man. Yeah. Look at me. I'm wearing a suit. I'm in the, I think, 60th floor in Sydney CBD business headquarter.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm set. Good position, bro. I hated every second of it. Bro, it's actually so much that I was almost crying sometimes, bro. To me, that is just crazy. And I really felt this time in my life, where I was in uni. So for a good 3.5 to 4 years, including like my employment in corporate life, I could literally feel how I'm degrading, like as in like I'm losing myself. That, you know, that young breezy, you know, like that I was, who was always keen out social, that kind of fell away, dude.
Bro, it's like, it's almost like, you know, and you see photos of like colorful childhood going into the factory, and now they're just like gray suits.
Absolutely.
On repeat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So because when I went to work in the morning, dude, like I have all these robots, everyone, like including myself, you know, going to work, and I'm not bad mouthing people who have a 9 to 5 job, by the way.
If they enjoy it.
If they enjoy it, dude, then this is the way.
That's all that matters.
But for me, it was not the thing, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who think the same, like
Absolutely.
I do, and I'm very, very confident about that. So when I went to work, as I said, very unhappy, and it went so far, dude, that I didn't even want to talk to people at work. Like I was like not awkward, but I was like, I do not. You want to check if it's still filming?
No, it's good.
So I came to a time where I was so awkward at work that I didn't want to talk to people. So I was literally like super like going into my shell, you know, like maybe that is part of depression as well. I don't know.
It sounds like it.
It sounds to me like, now looking back then I wasn't aware, because I kept telling myself, and I had these negative thoughts. No, you know, consciously taking care of them. No, this negative thought that I had was probably the truth in this case, which is you're not happy, dude. But then again, I was in this circle. The comfort circle. I did not want to leave it.
And do you know what the scary part is? You're probably on good pay, right?
Yeah, I was a great pay. That's what I'm saying.
And so you go get a new apartment, and now you can't leave your job because you have to pay that rent.
Exactly.
You get a nice car.
It's a devil's circle.
And you're trapped.
Absolutely. Exactly. You're trapped. Thank God I didn't have, like, imagine if you have a family to take care of and everything. Like, these kind of exactly. But I'm trapped in this job. I need the money. It's good money too. My lifestyle has, like, you know, it's based around it. So I'm in this comfort circle, and I'm not trying to chase to make my life greater or better, because I don't want to leave this, because if I leave it, I'm worried I can't go back in. This is exactly what you said earlier.
And this is the whole climbing the ladder.
Absolutely.
And this is where you see it a lot, where you know, why there's so many more men in high management positions, because women have a baby and they drop out for 6 months and they lose all their momentum.
Absolutely. Exactly. Lose momentum. So yeah, super unhappy. Really, like, called my mom sometimes. So like, Mom, what do I do? You know, and they always like, why don't you do videography, man? Like, content create, like what you love doing. And I was like, no, it's not the right thing. And to me, like, looking back, and I love, again, it's part of my journey. Okay, now it sounds so negative what I'm saying here, but man, I'm grateful to I had actually this experience, because now I know I never want to do this again. Yeah. Because then later, when COVID hit, I lost my job. And this is the best thing that has ever happened to my life.
Do you know how many people COVID was the best thing?
Oh, dude.
COVID was why I got on TikTok.
Yeah.
I lost my job as well. I was running a business, but I lost all my clients. I just shut down. And I was like, holy crap. I was 10 grand a week I was making. I had all these expenses, and I was like, what do I do? Yeah. I moved into my mum's office, and then I started making this content, and it's like, this was one of the best things that ever happened. Yeah, right?
Like, I'd love to, that would be a cool episode, like the success stories of COVID.
Yeah, it would actually.
That would be actually very cool.
Yeah.
But here's one. You can start with this one. So, lost my job because of COVID, and it was the best thing that has happened to me, because someone else took that decision for me to break out of that circle. I was ripped out of the circle. Literally, I was ripped out, because I was kind of devastated about it, actually. I got ripped out of it. And it's like, now do you, yeah? And that's what I did. Instead of being upset about it, I said to myself, okay, this is part of life. I'm a better myself. I'm a do me. This is exactly what I did.
And so do you think, this is going back to the conversation, people just don't leave? No. It's difficult to leave. Do you think you ever would have left?
No. I can tell you right now, dude, I would have not left.
Really?
I mean, like,
that's terrifying.
Like, of course, now I can say yes, of course I would, because I know what it's like to be on the other side now.
Putting yourself back in the shoes.
But putting my back into those leather shoes, uncomfortable suit, and all that stuff, and that mindset I had when I was looking out of my window from the 60th floor, I was like, this is a good job, Fabio. This is good. Look around. You're surrounded by smart people. This is the right thing to do. And this is what would keep me in that cage, dude, that circle that we talked about. It would keep me, these thoughts, the materialistic things. That's what kept me in it. You know? So I don't believe I would have left. Maybe a different company.
Yeah, but dude, it's the way you've been conditioned.
But it's, as
a child, it's high paying, suits status. It was all status.
Exactly.
It's all status.
It's all status, dude. It's all, you know, the society living the life for you that you're supposed to live. And you can even go back in the past when people said cigarettes are good for you. Yeah. Like, it's like marketing. Like, we get like these like thoughts or these like things drain into our brains. Like, this is what you should do. You should go to uni after. And again, I'm not saying uni is bad, but you should do this. This is the proper life. Not picking up a camera and doing you and being creative? Are you out of your mind? This is not a stable income.
Yeah.
What are you doing? This is something for, I mean, unless you're talented, unless you're an artist, well, you never know if you are one unless you get started.
Yeah, who is an artist?
Exactly. And this is the most important part. Get fucking started.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get started, you'll never, ever get there. It just doesn't. Luck doesn't exist. You put everything out there. I'm not sitting here right now because it's luck. It's because I put myself out there. I started to become a creative full time, and now we're sitting here.
Well, do you know what it is, bro? And I heard this quote, and I love it because I think luck is involved. But here's the thing: I heard a quote, and it's just like a life-changing opportunity comes across everyone's door once every 2 weeks, whether you have the eyes to see it or take advantage of it. I genuinely believe that. I believe there are life-changing opportunities that come across you constantly. Yeah. But you just don't see them.
Yeah,
and you're not open to see them. Because like imagine you're just doing your job. I invite you to an event. Imagine you didn't join Clubhouse. Yeah. You didn't meet this person.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. Like, our entire friend group was off me texting Nat saying, "Hey, we should catch up." Yeah. And she said, "Oh, can I bring my friend?" Yeah. I meet Dale. We get in Clubhouse. Bang, bang, bang,
boom,
bang.
Boom, boom. It's like a snowball effect.
What if she was just burnt out after work and said no? Bang.
Or busy with work.
Or busy, whatever it is.
Exactly.
It's just like, get started and take that risk. Like that is, I want to go back to how you just said you wouldn't have quit. Yeah. If it wasn't for COVID.
Oh man, again, I get goosebumps again because this is such. I will never forget this time in my life because this is where everything is based upon. Everything. So yeah, to go back, I was like, okay, I wouldn't have quit. There's no chance because again, I was very comfortable in that circle whatsoever. But it happened. I got sacked because of COVID. So and that aligned perfectly with me picking up this bad boy, an FPV drone. So for those who don't know, FPV stands for first person view. And these drones, you fly these drones with goggles on. So everything is super immersive and super like interactive and super hard to fly because you fly them all manually. Yeah. But the reward is you get the most insane shots you can imagine.
Yeah, because you see from drone's perspective, you can go around corners where you can't see the drone and everything.
Exactly, because you see everything through that camera here. Yeah. So these are your eyes basically, and this is connected to your goggles. So, I mean, it sounds already crazy. It is crazy. So this aligned perfectly with me getting sacked from my job.
Okay, how do I make money doing that? Well, it's like, that's not something you can make money doing. It's
exactly.
It's just drone.
And to be honest, it was still new in Australia back then as well. This was a year. It's funny enough. Actually, this is exactly a year ago when this all happened, roughly, like maybe a year and 2 months. But yeah, well, as I said, like I have done some sort of content creation before, and I had some smaller clients that I did some videos for, but not this stuff, just more like videography stuff. Yeah. So I wasn't just like. It wasn't like, okay, I've never done a videography gig. I have done some videography gigs before, so I had that confidence definitely. But I was like, I want to be the very best in Australia to do this because I remember when I was in the office in 2018, I saw this guy called Johnny FPV, which is by far the best FPV pilot out there currently and a big inspiration for myself. And I saw this video of him chasing rhinos. And I remember I was in the office on my screen. I looked at this video. I was like, damn. Yeah. Like I was like, what?
Imagine getting paid to fly a drone in Sahara chasing rhinos.
Exactly. Imagine.
Like not even getting paid. Just doing it.
Or just doing it. Exactly. So when I saw it on the screen, I remember in the office where I was so unhappy, I was like, woof, like my screen was here, but I was like, okay, how to get into FPV? And it was super overwhelming. That was 2018. So I ended up not doing it because like, oh no, I need to do this job. Like that's cool, but it's too much time. I don't have time for that.
And yeah.
So in 2020, 20, that's actually when I actually happened. Imagine I would have started in 2018. Again, different story. But yeah, so started out with this and I was like, you know what? I want to document this journey. I want to take everyone on my socials. Back then I was, I think 10,000 followers or so, or maybe almost 10,000. I can't remember. But like not as many as I have now. I didn't have a community. Let's put it that way. I had followers, but having followers, it doesn't matter. Dude. Yeah. It's not about the numbers. It's about having a community. People who are genuinely interested in your content. Yeah. But again, that's a different story as well. So yeah, didn't have that. But I knew, hey, I want to build a community around my content. Because I also never showed myself on camera, which is very important. If you want to build a personal brand, people need to see you. You need to build that trust, and people will follow you not only for your content, but also for you, because they're interested in engaging in your life, basically. So yeah, started out documenting, going out every day. Consistency is key. So many people ask me, how are you getting better at this? Or how did you get more popular in that stuff? Bro, it's easy. Anyone can do it. You just got to do it. You just got to get started. You got to be consistent and always thrive for greatness. And these are the 3 golden rules. And if you do this, dude, you go places. There's nothing stops you from doing that, even if you have haters or something.
As soon as you put your vision out there, people align with it.
Yeah,
they go, this guy's cool. You know what? I need a drone for this. I need something like this. And then you go to a party and you fly a drone and people see you flying a drone and then you meet them and they go, blap. And then suddenly, because you put your vision out there, which is scary to do, putting yourself out there, not many people do it.
Super scary because I've never done it before.
Yeah.
Like I never showed myself on the camera, but in stories, for instance, when I wasn't, the only thing I would post in stories, for instance, was like me at dinner, like cool, bougie dinner at steakhouse, cocktail, boomerangs, you know, like this kind of bullshit. I mean, it's nothing wrong. Like people use social media for different purposes, But if you want to be a content creator, and I know majority of people want to be a content creator, YouTuber, everyone wants to be one because hey, getting paid for doing what you love doing, creating content, how cool is that?
So it's the ultimate dream, isn't it?
It's the ultimate dream.
Just getting paid enough to survive.
Exactly.
That's all you need.
Like it's actually fucking crazy if you think about it. But yeah, and so, you know, over time, like we talked literally last year, this is not long ago. I'm not like in the game for the last 5 years or so proper. I consider myself a full-time content creator for the last year, I'd say. So since I, got sacked.
Same as me, basically.
Pretty much, exactly. And slowly building momentum with these drones. Obviously, it's also quite new. So a lot of people were like, okay, what the fuck? And now I just want to be the best, man. I mean, still this day. And I'm not done yet. I always say I'm just getting started. I'm not here like, okay, I got it all, because there were like certain milestones after I've gone into it where like I got to work with bigger brands, like I just finished filming the launch video for the GoPro 10 with the drone, which was amazing. See, all these things, dude, came because of me getting started with FPV.
No, do you know where it came from? Getting sacked.
Of course, absolutely. Absolutely, I agree.
The message I want to get across is you might not have a COVID opportunity in the future. You might not get forced into it.
Exactly.
And so you need to do it yourself.
Absolutely.
Or it's like, and this is where it's like, just you need someone to pull you out.
Dude, you need to take control.
Like I'd like to think if I'd met you and I'd seen you in the corporate, I would be able to identify and just rip you out of there. It's like, dude, you need to. But I don't even know if I had anyone has the power to rip you out.
Dude, I sometimes think about like I'd love to see myself. Like I'd love to look to the left and see myself, and see my life how it was going. Like, and I could be watching I would love to watch myself and be like, wow, poor you, man. Just do it. Just get started. Like be that voice.
Have you seen Loki?
No.
So in Loki, it's all about alternate timelines and stuff.
Okay,
but
I love that already.
Yeah. So basically, in the Avengers when it's getting a bit complicated here, but in Endgame, they go back in time to get the Infinity Stone, the Tesseract Stone, the Soul Stone, and then Loki, the Hulk comes out the door, smashes it, and Loki just disappears.
Oh.
And so because he does that, he broke the timeline because he was supposed to go then go on and join Thanos, and then he dies in Infinity War, and that never happened now. And so it's a different timeline. And so what happens is he joins the TVA, which is like the timeline variant. They like manage the timelines, and he watches. Exactly as you say, he clicks and he's like, so what happens? And he watches the other version of himself go with Thor and fight and die. Oh. And it's super emotional.
Yeah, wow.
Exactly like you.
Well, there you go.
You can imagine you could sit and watch the alternate timeline of you, whatever you could, and it could be either good or bad.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be who you could have been, or it could be who you could have been positively and negatively.
Exactly, but you never know. And to me, what I want to say is that not getting started or not pursuing what I do today is the scariest thing in my life.
If you hadn't done that?
If I haven't done that. If I really, sometimes I lay in bed and I'm like, wow, imagine I would have got sacked.
I'm the same with, and I know I say this a lot, so people are probably sick of me, but I'm the same of like, imagine if I went to uni. I want to be a filmmaker, like you. I want to be a filmmaker. I've been making videos. You go on YouTube, you can watch me lightsaber battles. Yeah. I used to frame by frame animate lightsabers.
Damn.
Like frame by frame, each crazy. Movement. Oh, yeah. I did all that stuff, and I want to be a filmmaker. So I got into Wollongong.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to, because I just couldn't see any value. I just want to make videos. Why don't I just go out and make videos?
Yeah, of course.
And I think, imagine if I had done that. Like, no disrespect to if you went to uni, but I'm like, the amount that I achieved in 3 years, I learned so much. I started a podcast. I've got Empower You. I got 600,000 followers across two. Got two.
It's massive.
Two huge podcasts. I'm now a presenter. I've spoken at schools. I'm an author, a published author. This isn't more than 4 years. It's like 1 degree.
That's crazy. Dude.
And I'm just like,
I am with you, dude.
Imagine if I had just settled.
How scary is it though?
It's terrifying.
That's
the most terrifying thing for me.
Absolutely, I agree.
And look, some people are different. They like the stability and everything. All respect to that. It's just whatever. Listen to you. Listen to you.
What makes you you should just think. We all should think that we just want to get paid for doing us.
Isn't that the ultimate goal in life?
I just want to go out there and get paid for doing me.
The ultimate goal is doing something you love with people you love.
Exactly. exactly.
If that's all you've got, then you're winning.
Dude, like
enjoying the journey.
You know how, yeah, exactly. You got it. Yeah. You know how many people tell you, and you probably your parents was like, hey, if you do what you love in life, you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
I get, like, it's a super stereotype thing to say. Everyone hears it, but dude, if it actually does click in your head and you actually realize that's actually the case, you live life completely differently, dude.
Yeah.
I personally actually think I'm on a completely different realm. I'm not saying I'm better than other people. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the way I, experience life is so different.
Same. It's not. I don't even consider it work. Because you know what? It's not work because we have negative associations with work.
Yeah.
And so if it's not negative, then it's not work.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Exactly.
Therefore, it's still work.
Exactly.
You're just enjoying it.
Absolutely. Exactly. To me, work doesn't almost not exist. To me, it's I'm doing life.
Yeah.
I'm doing literally life.
Like my dream is I don't even want to take holidays because I just travel while I work. It's just like almost a continuous holiday sort of thing.
I don't need a holiday.
It's like because and I know this probably sounds obnoxious to some people.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, whatever, but it's true.
But that's what
genuinely true.
Exactly. That's what I meant with different realm. See, like because you get it. Like this, your mindset is it's just different. I know you can see it straight away because people who have never experienced this because they don't want to or they're too scared to, they don't. It didn't make click yet because they can't imagine it to be like that. They can't imagine life to be like that. You know what I mean? And I said to a friend of mine before that, imagine you go through life where you work from Monday to Friday, and 5 days out of 7 days a week, you just work towards the weekend.
Yeah.
This means 80% of your life, pretty much, you only work towards the weekend, and you do not enjoy 5 days out of the whole week.
And do you know what they do? They get drunk Friday night, which wipes out their Saturday.
Exactly.
Then they go out Saturday night, and then they're feeling groggy all Sunday.
Like,
and
exactly.
Then they're like Monday. It's like Ryan. You should meet Ryan. He's similar to you. He came to Australia from the UK.
Yeah.
He came for a year. He's been here for 6.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
and he had him on an episode, and he was like, at 16, he wanted to be a footballer, but then he started drinking and got into drugs. And he was like, yeah, Monday, we'd recover from the weekend. Tuesday, you're feeling a little bit Wednesday, you'd go out. Thursday, you'd go out. Friday night, you're out. Saturday night, you're out. Then you recover and you just repeat.
Yeah, of course. There you go.
And then he had no money.
Absolutely.
Imagine going out 4 nights a week. Imagine how much money you're spending on drinks and drugs.
It's a no-brainer. And imagine living a life like that. So that's why it's like, nah.
Yeah.
That's why every day out of the week is life. Yeah. I don't work on a 7 days a week.
Yeah,
I don't work.
neither do I.
There's no weekend for me really.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to sound cocky or anything. Like it's just like that's how life should be.
It just blows in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I love it when I have friends and people like you because it's like you don't organize to go on the weekend. It's like what about Tuesday?
Yeah.
2 o'clock on Tuesday.
Exactly.
Sure.
Let's do it.
It's like I'll just make my plans around that. Yeah. It's like it's very fluid.
Yeah.
It's very fluid.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people, and I think I'm just a bit scarred from TikTok because whenever I post stuff like this, people always have something to say like, "Oh, that comes from a level of privilege, Byron." It's true. It's true. Yeah. But like, you can either have excuses or results.
Of course,
you can't have both.
Yeah.
And everyone has excuses.
Yeah.
We didn't have any money. We had enough money. We had a head, a roof over. We had good parents, a roof over our head, and I had,
Yeah, I want to make that very clear. I'm not from rich parents or anything. Not at all, dude.
No.
Like this is not the case.
Yeah. It's like I didn't get given anything. You just got to make. I've been bootstrapping the whole time,
exactly.
and it's tough. I've been so low on my bank account, huge amount of stress and stuff.
Bro, same, dude.
But like,
man, this is it's fun. It's of course you have an advantage if you have more wealthy parents. I get it.
Yeah.
Like you have more you may be more inclined to like take risks that involve money. I get that. But this doesn't stop you from doing it too. If you're not in a position like that,
just don't make excuses.
Exactly.
As soon as you make an excuse, go. Is there a way I could actually do it?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll say go travel. Take a year off and travel. But I don't need money. Get a job.
You'll be fine. Like get some money, and then especially maybe if you really like low money, maybe travel to a country where Thailand or something like that, where you it's obviously better with money wise.
I was like,
otherwise get a job there if you can.
Yeah, or go travel and get a job.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was like, save up in 6 months, save up $15,000.
Yeah.
And you're like, you can't save up $15,000. Why not? Minimum wage in Australia is 40 grand a year.
Yeah.
You work for 6 months, that's 20 grand.
Yeah.
You can live off 5 grand for 6 months. You're still living at home.
Yeah.
You got 15 grand.
Yeah.
Go nuts. You can travel for 6 months.
It's all in your hands, dude.
You can travel for your whole life on 15 grand because you can go start working in a bar.
Exactly.
Meet people. Go to hostels.
Maybe get a skill that you can do some online work.
Yeah. Backpack. Pick fruit. I know a lot of people like pick fruit and just in exchange for.
Yeah, of course. Definitely.
You can either have excuses or results. You can't have both.
Exactly.
Just stop making excuses. Everyone is full of excuses. I'm sick of it. It's that thing in your head. Shake your head. If you make an excuse, shake your head.
Dude, there's so many times like in this. I remember back in the days when I wasn't as a full-time content creator that I am now. I was like, I have nothing to shoot, like, or then what's also very bad is like if you start comparing yourself to other people.
Oh, that's the worst.
Never compare yourself to others, because if you start comparing yourself with others, you comparing your day 1 or day 2 with someone else's day 3,500 because they're already
Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter
because they're
12.
already somewhere else on their journey, and that's their journey. Instead, look at them, get inspired. That's what I do. If I go on Instagram, dude, I go on and I scroll with purpose. I always say that. I don't just scroll like and then I get like in a negative mindset. I scroll because I want to get inspired, not because I'm trying to compare myself to anyone else. I don't compare myself to Johnny FPV. He's amazing. He inspires me, but I know he's been flying for 6 years or so. I fly for a year. And that's cool. And I think I'm doing very well for the stuff that I've done so far, and one day I'd love to meet this guy, because he inspires me, but I never compare myself to anyone.
Comparison is a thief of joy.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
And bro, aren't we in a comparison world? And this is where I push this message so hard, because the young, they're now growing up with Instagram. They're growing up comparing to everyone, the whole Kardashian sort of mindset thing. And I think there was a lot, I'm a big fan of ignorance is bliss. Other generations, they were ignorant to what other people were doing because they couldn't see it in front of them. And so of course they couldn't compare. Yeah. But now you compare to everyone, and I do it. I'll be scrolling through. I'll see someone on a podcast account. I swipe across, more followers than me. Damn. Why do I care? Yeah. Why do I care?
It doesn't matter.
They're an entertainment channel. Exactly. Of course they've got more than me. I'm an educational podcast.
And even if it's an educational, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Instead, see what he does. Maybe like get some tips. Get some like inspiration, and then you go.
Flip your mindset. I also, we talk about empower you living above the line and below the line, and it's just a growth mindset or fixed mindset. Yeah. And the whole thing is like, if we're going back to the privilege thing, like, but if you're comparing yourself to someone, they had a better head start than you. They're better looking than you, whatever it is. That could be true. Yeah. However, how does that benefit you? How does that thinking benefit you?
It doesn't. If anything, it makes it worse, and it's probably the reason why you're not even starting.
Yes.
Because you think like I don't have these possibilities.
There are people who have advantages and privileges over you. That's true. But what does that mindset, how does it benefit you? Just going, I can't do it. Oh yeah, they did that because they got their parents paid for it. It's true.
That's literally how you think. Like, oh
no, I can't do that. But their parents got them that job. That's true. We're not saying that's not true. However, how does that benefit you? It doesn't mean you can't get it. And so that's why we say living above the line versus below the line. Living above the line is taking accountability, ownership, and responsibility. Yeah. Living below the line is living in denial, blaming others, and making excuses. Yeah. And when we ask the audience, we say, who here would say they've lived 50% or more of their life above or below the line? Everyone says below, because that's the truth. We always blame others, make excuses, and live in denial.
I think you had a video, I watched it yesterday, with the lady who interviewed people at the deathbed. Yes. And I was fine. I literally watched this yesterday, popped up, and I was like, man, this is so true. And I feel so grateful that I'm in a position right now where I'm doing exactly what I love doing. Yeah. Because if you love what are you doing, you don't work a day in your life, and you will not be in a position later on where you look back when you're old and be like, damn. And that actually brings me to a very interesting point, which I encountered an older lady on Fraser Island a couple months ago, actually. And I remember she was part of a photography group. They were like, coming out with, like, they were all like elderly ladies. And I remember she came with this like big camera bag walking towards me and my friend Zach, and I had all my drone gear and stuff. And she's like, oh, darling, what is all this cool equipment? And I explained, I'm a drone pilot. I do this, that, and that. And she's like, we're here doing some photos. And then she's like, you're so lucky though. I wish I would have pursued what I love doing when I was in my early 20s. I had to wait till I retire. Wow. And just walks off. Like, not even like, dude, goosebumps.
I've got
look, bro. Like, my whole body, dude. No, for real. Like, and I was so, my whole head. Like, I was so happy, like, before I met her. Not that I was unhappy, but after she said that, dude, I was like, whoa, damn, that's deep. That's huge.
Do you know what else? If we're using that exact story, this is where I go. Even if she wanted to, first of all, there's no way she could have pursued that just in that time.
Yeah, I get that.
What? $20,000 for a camera. She couldn't have done it if she wanted to. And that's what I mean. We have access. Exactly. We can do anything. The internet. Exactly. All this stuff. And I'm like, take advantage of it.
Now is your time. Yeah. Like, that lady couldn't have do it because, like, as you said, like, back then probably, she was quite old, so probably like post-war times. Yeah. And it was a different time.
And she was a woman, so she probably
didn't
have as many opportunities.
As it is, exactly. Yeah. But now is your time. You have no excuse anymore to not get started. You can literally pick up your goddamn phone, and it doesn't need to be the exact.
I've filmed. What episode is this? Like 88? Yeah. I've had over 140 million views on the podcast. I still use my phone.
Exactly.
And my secondhand Panasonic camera. Yeah. These mics $200 each.
Yeah, well, there you go. See?
Yeah, I see people get the full equipment and everything.
Yeah.
You don't need good equipment.
You don't need it, exactly.
Because you have it.
And this is a major excuse that a lot of people do,
Yeah.
you know? Because again, the older lady, she waited all her life to then finally do this. And she realized this so late. So that's why I'm super grateful that I've realized what I'm truly passionate about in my 20s, not my 30s, not my 40s, not my 50s. Now. Because I know I see the concept about the 20s are the golden years, you know? And it's great to like pursue something that you love doing in your 20s because you can build upon, you can build your success, your empire, your career.
And if you fail, you don't have any responsibilities.
Exactly. And this is key, you know?
And do you want the other thing is you've got energy.
Yeah.
You have the energy to do it.
Of course.
Like
make the most out of it, you know? Don't
Absolutely.
just go out, drink, party and whatever. It's part of it.
Oh, we still do that here.
Yeah, still. But you can still also do something that you want to build upon. You know?
I mean, I'm big on not getting like thrown up. Like I was up at 2 a.m. last night.
I've never thrown up before alcohol, so.
Yeah, and so I was drinking. I was pretty drunk, but I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? If I keep drinking, I'm going to go too far.
Exactly.
I woke up this morning, made a smoothie. Here I am.
Yeah.
I feel fine.
Yeah.
I don't feel anything wrong at all.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, you can party, you can do all that stuff. We're not saying, you know, when you listen to Gary Vee, and he's just like, I worked every day, every weekend in my 20s, right? And he pushes that message. And then when people ask him, what would you tell your younger self? He's like, you know what? Take a day off, have some fun.
Yeah.
That's what your 20s is about.
Of course, you can't just hustle, dude. Like you can't just go 24/7, do everything. You know, like you gotta enjoy life, especially in your 20s, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a balance. You mentioned the yin and yang. And going back to why you brought up this woman, the quote that you were referring to was the number one. There was this woman, Bronnie Ware, did a study in Australia actually.
Yeah.
The top 5 regrets of the dying, and the number one was I wish I would have lived a life more true to myself rather than lived a life that other people expected of me.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. Yeah.
And that's you were living the life others expect of you in the corporate job, and so many people are doing that. And I know if you're listening to this podcast, you're already ahead. You're already thinking like that.
Yeah.
But imagine, this is why I started the podcast. I hear stories like you and I go, if you were a listener at 16 or 17, would you have committed to everything you did? The 3 years of uni, the job, could you have saved 4 years of that and got straight into FPV?
Man, I mean, I'd love to. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe.
Well, maybe not. Maybe. But it would have been nice to like have it on my screen.
Radar.
You know? On my radar.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm saying. My parents probably told me, like my parents are actually quite supportive. They didn't told me to go to uni, you know, but they kind of expected, but they were still like, you do you know, they're always supportive.
Yeah.
But you need to believe it, dude. Even when people tell you, it's good if people tell you, but you need to make that conscious decision and decide, yes, I'm gonna do me and I do not care what other people think. It doesn't matter, dude. If you're sad and cry, no one gives a fucking shit. Sorry. No one cares. Like no one cares about your life, technically, because everyone has their own things. You need to take control. It doesn't like change. Like you can take control of your emotions too. If you want to be happy, you can be happy. Yeah. I know it's easier said than done. I'm very aware of that.
Yeah.
But technically speaking, that's how it works.
Well, no one's going to fix it except for yourself.
Except no one.
Yeah. You can't wait for someone to come.
Absolutely.
And it's actually a good thing when you're saying no one cares about you because everyone's thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
Which is, if you go to that comparison thing, right? You know, when you're at a party and you're like worried you said something silly and you go home and you're like, why did I say that?
Yeah.
Dude, no one cares.
No one cares.
They're all thinking about what they said.
Yeah, exactly.
And so it's like everyone's in their own head.
Exactly.
Just
absolutely.
Because I was talking to these two girls ages ago. We were talking about this, a deep conversation about this, and they were like, "Oh yeah, every time after this stuff, I go and I lie in bed for an hour thinking about everything I said." I'm like, "That sounds horrible."
Like I think I saw something like when you let other people's thoughts control you, they own you, dude.
Yeah,
they do. They really do. If you go home from a party or whatever happened, or if you, or generally like you're walking down the street and you think like what people think of you, they own you now. You are theirs now because you do not take control of your own thoughts, and if you don't take care of your own thoughts, that has also a physical impact because you decide to maybe walk differently, do things differently, don't do certain things.
You know what the word is?
So they own you.
Your energy is different.
Exactly.
And people feel energy.
Exactly.
I can feel your energy now.
Yeah.
This is why I hate the virtual podcast. I
Yeah,
can't get the energy across.
Yeah, 100%.
And so like, and as you said, you said when you're in the corporate job, you just didn't even want to talk to people.
No, exactly.
Your energy was so low.
Dude, yeah, absolutely.
You said the chakras or whatever before.
Yeah,
Everything was misaligned. And so it just ripples across your life.
Misaligned. Exactly. I was completely like disassembled, like morphed almost, you know what I mean? Like now I'm my true self. Like this is Fabreezy, this is Fabio, you know what I mean? And people know that, and I think that's why a lot of people who reach out to me is like, hey Fabio, you truly inspire me to get started. They may not even do FPV, but they get fucking started, and this to me is everything because this is my message. it's so interesting because I started out with FPV, but now it's become so much more. It's become almost like not a movement, but it's a community, and I'm truly blessed to have this community around me, because without these people, I couldn't do what I'm doing today.
Well, it's like, Annie, the speaking coach, our friend, she started off as a speaking coach. I don't even know if she is anymore. I was talking to her, all her clients. She's got 9 one-on-one clients right now. Only one of them has a presentation coming up. Now she just helps them become who they want to become.
Yeah.
Because, she, the classic example, and I did the same thing. I got like corporate photos taken. I wore like a nice shirt.
Yeah.
And then she did the same thing because she was one of the, like a woman, businesswoman. And they just was such a misalignment. And now you look at her new photos and she's like in the bright shirts and she's like smiling and she's like laughing. And it's like, that's her.
Exactly.
The same with you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I get messages. I always encourage everyone to message me because that's what keeps me going.
Yeah,
the podcast.
Exactly.
And I've had so many. I've had over 500.
Yeah.
I screenshot every single one. I've got a folder. I print them and put them on my wall.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Bro,
I should do that too.
Dude, I'll show you. I'll see if I have it.
Can you check if that films quick? I just want. Can I do? Is it filming?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Perfect.
I wonder if it's connected to my iPad here. I'll see if I read one out. This is one. Whenever I feel sad,
Actually, I'll find one as well quickly.
I bring it up because it's here. This. I got this 2020, almost a year ago. So this is, hey Byron, my name is Angelina and I'm from Canada. I'm a big fan of your podcast. I originally found out on TikTok, of course. They've taught me so much and inspired me, even though I'm only 14. I'm new to the whole podcast thing, but I've found yours the only one interesting because of how many different things you talk about. I've even convinced my parents to listen to the podcast and they have been learning new things.
Holy shit.
I just wanted to let you know that you've had a big impact on my life in the past couple of months. I know you don't get paid for these podcasts, so I'm trying to spread the good word. I will definitely be the first one to buy your book, and I'm absolutely pumped every time the intro comes on.
Okay, can we just have a moment of gratitude for this dude?
Bro, I'm about to tear up.
Yeah, I understand. Like, this is like someone took out of like someone, and she's only 14. This
14.
is fucking
That's
ridiculous.
why
fucking ridiculous. But and good on her. Like, she's taking time out of goosebumps. She's taking time out of her life to send you positive energy, to let you know, hey, in case you ever think I'm not listening, I am listening. I'm watching. And these messages, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Getting them is like when you have a down day, and we all have them. I know you see all this good energy now, but like I have these days too. Where these negative thoughts take control, take over, and then getting a message like that, bro, boom.
Yeah.
And you're back on fucking track. You're like, let's fucking go,
Yeah.
Because this is good energy.
Yeah.
This is what gets you going.
And I would say, like, I remember her name, Angelina. Whenever I feel down, I'm like, think of Angelina. Think of the 14-year-old who's listening to the podcast with her parents. If I get one download and it's her, that's, it's a lot of work to make these podcasts. That's worth it.
That's a download that has an impact. Impactful.
And I have hundreds of these. Same length. No one ever messages me like, hey, I love the podcast. They pour out their entire... I had a guy message me audio. He said, hey, mate, I got to buy you a coffee when I'm in Sydney. I just landed a $50,000 scholarship based off your advice. Like, take action. And in terms of like this, as a listener, I think don't underestimate how good that makes me feel. And all you have to do is take 5 minutes and message me or anyone. Giving gratitude change your life.
Absolutely.
I would challenge listeners, message 5 people after this podcast.
Exactly.
Just say, hey,
that's a great way.
Love this. We call them GVs, gratitude videos.
Okay.
Just give gratitude videos.
Pull
it out. You can do it on Instagram, direct video. Hey man, I love the interview we did today. It was so great. Love what you're doing.
I love that actually.
It just makes you feel good.
Yeah, of course. And like, as you said, like we're not getting like everything we put out on our socials. 95%. I can speak for myself, but I'm sure it's the same for you. 95% of the content I put out there, I'm not getting paid for.
Dude, I've been severely underpaid for 3 years.
There you go. So we're on the same page here. Yeah. This is just stuff we put out there because we do know it has first an impact. We enjoy doing it, and eventually it's part of our portfolio, so it may land us work, which in my case has happened a lot. But the point is, it's great to get then messages like these and say, like, and they know like this is a piece of content. Like yesterday, I posted a video of a soccer ball like doing crazy stuff with the FPV drone. I wasn't getting paid for that. No one was getting paid for this. But yet everyone came along chasing that ultimate money shot. Everyone wanted to be part of this amazing vision, and we executed, No one got paid. But that's fine. We didn't want to get paid. We just wanted to put this piece of content out there. And there was so much work went into like the editing and everything. Like I'm talking like hours,
Yeah. It's an unreal video.
Unreal. I appreciate it.
I told you, I thought it was CGI.
Yeah.
When you kick the soccer ball, it's like, is that real?
Yeah, it looks always unreal, isn't it? I know. So it's like all these like things that go into like the back end of things. A lot of people just see the flashy stuff, like your perfect podcast video, like the edit, or like my FPV stuff, and they don't know that there's so much work that goes behind it, mentally as well, and stuff you need to invest in maybe or whatsoever. But like, so that's great to get messages like this who say like, I appreciate you as a person. I appreciate what you put out there. And if there's any way I can support you, I'll be the one.
Yeah. Like I always think of her when I've got like lower downloads and stuff. I'm like, just think of Angelina in Canada listening with her parents.
Yeah. That's actually dope.
You know, in fact, she's 14. It's like, imagine if she listens. She's on this journey at 14 years old.
Yeah, and you have an impact on her in a very interesting age period, where you're growing up as a young lady, you know.
And that's why, if the younger you can get them, like that's why Empower You is so life changing, because we have kids who are like 14 to 20.
Yeah,
and it's like if you can get across these concepts at like that age, it'll change their entire life.
That's why stuff like this,
yeah,
positive conversation need to be taught in fucking high school,
yeah,
bro. Not later on, because later on people are stuck in routines, comfort, circles. You know, they need to, before they enter this fucking circle, because that's how it is. You enter the circle when you're like in the end of high school kind of thing. You know, when people say, hey, you gotta know what you want to do. What are you gonna study? Oh, you need to keep up your grades, because otherwise you can't do this. You don't get access to this. You end up there. So that's why before people enter that circle, that cage, they need to be taught the right tools to be able to not even go into this cage, or at least being able to break out of the cage.
Do you know what it is? And I've been saying this, and this is, I really hate the school system. I hold back because I get hate. People already disagree with me, and I don't even show my true colors. I hold back, but I'll tell you right now, I genuinely believe once you finish school, you have to dedicate the next few years unlearning what you've just taught. Literally.
Disassemble what you learned.
You have to disassemble yourself and rebuild yourself. Absolutely. You have to get those creativity skills, get those communication skills, understand how the world really works.
Yeah.
You've got to work on that. I listened to so many podcasts and like went to all these events trying to just unlearn everything I learned from school. Because you get conditioned to go into this thing, as you mentioned, and you were a textbook example.
Yeah, 100%.
Textbook.
I was being grown in, like, you know when you have a little tree and it grows like
in
sideways,
a lab, growing in a lab.
You need like a thing that keeps it straight, you know. Otherwise, you grow into the wrong direction, dude. Without you wanting to do so. Because if it would be for the system, I would be still a project manager.
Bro, how many people are pushed into something, and it was decided for them before they're even born? It's like my son, my daughter. She's going to do this. She's going to be a doctor. She's going to be a lawyer. She's going to be whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it just breaks my heart. And I think that's why, you know, I think a gap year should be literally, my dream would be a mandatory.
Yeah.
Every single person, when they finish high school, you have to take a year off.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if it's mandatory, and I know this is pretty extreme.
Yeah.
If it's mandatory, all the private school kids, they'll take a year off. But if it's not, you know, they'll be, I'm going to take a year off, but then all the other guys are going to uni. I don't want to get stuck behind.
Exactly. And that's what they think. Like, oh no, wait. He's going to uni already.
They're ahead of me.
Look at me. I'm in Thailand right now. Or like, I'm thinking of going, and I completely agree. That's again comparing yourself with others.
Yeah.
It's, dude, these things, it's a synergy. They're all correlated, dude.
Yeah.
Like comparing with others, pressure from peer pressure, pretty much. You know, making up excuses. It's like a devil combination. You know what I mean? So, and it's scary, dude.
Yeah.
I agree.
And this is why everything I'm doing in the Gap Year program, you know, my goal is to just get cool people together. That alone will change your life.
Yeah.
That alone.
Yeah.
But then give you the right education, give you access to everything you need so that you can disassemble yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I think everyone's just had, as a child, right, you're born and then you slowly add on more armor. And you don't show your true colors, and you add on more armor and more armor. And whenever you meet someone, you've got your armor on. And it's like, are you taking your armor off when you're with people? And by that, I mean like vulnerable. Are you being vulnerable with people? Are you having really true conversations? And I say this a lot, but I often think people don't even understand what I mean because they've never experienced it. Their entire life, they've been in these friend groups. And it could be a high school friend group. And you know, not to say it's bad, but you know, cool thing is when you enter the real world, you decide who your friends are. In high school, you've only got 80 people to choose from.
I had no friends in high school, by the way, really. Because I just didn't connect with them.
Yeah, I've got friends in high school, and I saw last night. They're hanging out. Okay. You know, different friend groups, and we still hang out, and that's great.
Yeah.
But they're not my only friends. Then I've got my I think having the creative friends is really good because they're on the same journey.
Same journey, same mindset.
Yeah.
They understand each other.
See, that's what I never had when I finished high school.
Me either.
I didn't have that first 3 years. That's why I'm so stoked when, like, you know, Riley and with these people, we add them in the group. And like, I never had the support. Yeah. It's like, this is so good. And encouraging them to put out content. I just put out content. Yeah. And, you know, and it was scary.
It's also so addictive for me to create content. Like, it is. Like, I don't know, and especially when you didn't have people around you who support you. Yeah. Like, whenever you think, oh, maybe I'm doing too much or not, they're like, no, you're doing just fine, man. Keep on smashing, keep on grinding. That's everything. Dude. You know what I mean?
Dude, I love this conversation.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, and we'll go into it, what would your number one piece of advice be for the younger generation?
Just get started. Do you?
Honestly, Nikes, they've nailed it, haven't they?
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it. And this, you know, and this may sound like a simple advice, but it's not simple because I know it's fucking hard to do so.
What would you do to an audience of none? If no one was watching your life,
Yeah.
what would you do? What would you do for $0 and zero recognition? Would you be a doctor if you couldn't say you were a doctor and you didn't get the recognition just because you want to help people?
Yeah.
Great, be a doctor.
Yeah.
Don't do it because you want to be doctor instead of Mr.
Status.
It's like, just do it.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Like, just get started because it's all about this is how everything starts. If you don't get started, you never know.
Yeah.
If I never would have gotten started with FPV, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Yeah.
I've been grateful to meet not only I'm grateful that I have not only worked on amazing brands, you know, doing great videos, but also part of this journey was meeting a lot of great people like yourself and other people, other creatives, people from my community that have been following me and now are friends because we interacted with each other. So this is all due to me just getting started
and putting yourself out there
and putting myself out there.
And it's crazy because the question we always get is, okay, how do you find your passion? How do you find FPV?
Exactly.
You saw rhinos on a screen.
Yeah.
And you went, that's cool.
Exactly.
And that's something in your brain went, that's awesome.
Exactly.
And the other thing I want to point out, because I'm going to probably use this quite a bit.
Yeah.
The way you got ripped out of your job.
Yeah.
Again, I want to say it again to the listeners. If you relate to feeling like you're in the 6 out of 10 life, you're comfortable, you're not enjoying it, you're not going to leave, rip yourself out. Man. You have to, because you might not have a COVID opportunity.
And I was very lucky to being ripped out because someone took that decision for me. Yeah. Because I suck at decision making. I get it. But if there's a piece of advice I can give to the listeners is rip yourself out as violently as you can.
Move countries.
Do something completely out of the ordinary. Of course, something that you potentially think that would work to rip you out. Because that way you truly see, you know, what's out there and what you're capable of doing. And I always say, there is nothing such luck. You are in full control of how life plays out. If you want to become a superstar, a rock star, or a beatboxer or something completely out of the ordinary, you can do it. Nothing is stopping you but yourself.
The hero and the coward have the same fear, but the hero does it anyway.
Exactly.
You have fears. No one is just like doing it.
Exactly. If you're scared of it, do it scared. Yeah. It doesn't matter. Bro, it does not matter.
A hero isn't someone who just like, you know, a hero isn't someone who goes into a battle like confident knowing they're going to win. A hero is someone scared they're going to lose and they do it anyway. Yeah. That's a real hero.
Exactly.
You know, that's a real
Absolutely.
risk. It's like you're not risk. It's not a risk if you know you're going to win or you know you're going to do it.
Exactly.
It's not a risk.
There's part the adrenaline. What's gonna happen? You know, even with FPV, like every flight that I'm doing with my FPV drone is scary in a way. Is a risk because it is very hard to fly these things. But what was first me being scary is now being confidence, adrenaline. Every time I put these goggles on, dude, my heart starts pumping. And it's a healthy relationship and a very addictive one too, because I know I want to get that money shot. Yeah. And I will do anything to get that money shot. And that's the best feeling in the world to me.
There you go, man. Enjoy the journey.
Exactly.
Start
the journey
now.
is everything, dude.
The rip out. Just always, guys, think of the rip out. 6 out of 10 life. You have to rip yourself out.
Exactly.
And move countries.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Enjoy every single bit of it. If you don't enjoy the journey, dude, once the dust is settled, you look back and you're like, damn, you know, because right now I'm in the position right now where I wanted to be a year ago. And now that I look back and the dust has settled, I'm like, I'm just getting started. Like, yeah. And you know, I'm going ahead and I'm going full speed. So.
Yeah. I wanted to finish up. I wanted to share the other regrets of the dying.
Yeah.
Because it fits in.
Yeah,
so there's just 5 top regrets of the dying. I'll see if I can find them here. So number 1 top regret of the dying. I wish I had the courage to live a life more true to myself, not the life others expected of me.
Yeah.
Status. Number 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard.
Oh, like as in like doing something that she doesn't enjoy?
This came from every male patient that I nursed. They missed their child's youth and their partner's companionship.
Yeah.
Women also spoke of this regret, but most were from an older generation. Many of female patients had not been breadwinners. All the men I nursed deeply regretted spending so much of their life on the treadmill of work.
Yeah. Of course. They pursue like they just work. Tunnel vision.
Here's number 3. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Number 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. And number 5, I wish I'd let myself be happier. Top 5 regrets of the dying. I feel like I tie in with this conversation.
I'm pretty sure these are the top 5 regrets that everyone has.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense. So many people go through life not doing what they love doing. They're trying to please others. They're worried about what other things. They don't spend time with their loved ones because they're stuck in this tunnel vision. It's almost like they're in this own fucking cage without getting started. You need to go out there and get fucking started for real. No. It's so true.
Yeah.
It makes me so like emotional because it's like the scariest part to me is like I almost didn't get started. Imagine I wouldn't have get started, dude. I wouldn't have done all these amazing things and truly found myself and being in this different realm of life now.
It's
I
the
live
timeline.
life completely different.
The timelines, right?
Absolutely. If I could look back at me right now and watch myself, I'd slap the shit out of me. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing? You're not enjoying life. You really just try to please others, or this voice in your head that tells you do something proper. It's wrong.
I heard the guy, and he's Christian, so he uses the analogy: when you get to heaven and you meet God or whatever, he shows the best version of yourself you could have been. And is that who you are?
Imagine.
It chased that.
Yeah.
Imagine if you see the best possible version of yourself when you die across, is that who you became? God.
Imagine you're at this position where you look at what you could have been and you're like, damn, I knew I should have stopped working this job because it didn't fulfill
Can I just say, everyone has so much potential in them.
I know.
Like I see people and I'm like, I see the potential in you. You don't see it in yourself, but I see it in you. You could be doing crazy stuff, but you've just settled. And look, again, if you want to settle, that's fine.
Bro.
But I believe, we only get one life. You should be chasing to be the best version of yourself. Impact,
Dude, I do not settle for anything but greatness. This is something I realized now. And again, I'm grateful that I realized in my 20s because whenever I go out there and shoot, I do not settle for nothing less but greatness.
Yeah.
Period.
That's it, man. Well, look, this has been an unreal episode. I'm pumped for it.
Thank you so
much.
But
if people want to get in touch with you, follow you online, where's the best place to go?
Instagram, Fabreezy, FABREEZY_.
Yeah, and all the links will be in the bio. But otherwise, dude, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Appreciate you, dude. Fuck yeah. Let's go.